What's up, everyone? Today I'm breaking down my entire investing journey from when I first started at age 18 to now age 23. And trust me, it's a roller coaster. I don't know what the hell I was doing when I first started. I should have done my research. I went from turning $3,000 into $20,000 gambling on just straight up vaporware, crypto, altcoins to full round trip and losing everything. I ended up wasting years thinking I was investing when I was really just gambling with extra steps to now finally becoming an actual investor with a real portfolio and a real plan. If you're young and trying to figure out money, or you've made some dumb financial decisions like me, don't worry, I made all of them. So let's get into it. When I turned 18, I thought I was the next financial prodigy. I had like 3K saved up, and that was from me working at a restaurant when I was like 16. So, I thought I was the man. I had all the money. Instead of doing anything responsible with it, as soon as I turned 18, got access to brokerage accounts, went straight into Coinbase, started buying crypto, not Bitcoin, not Ethereum. No, no, no. I went into the deep end of the altcoin pool. I was buying the most AI metaverse blockchain vaporware you could think of. I was buying coins that had white papers written like a sci-fi novel. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, bro, this is the future, dude. You gotta buy this. Telling all my friends, and I had a friend who was making money with me. We thought we were geniuses, making all the money, right? And we were buying tokens that had all the things saying they're gonna revolutionize the world and everything. And somehow, I managed to turn that 3K into 20K when I was 19. And imagine how I felt. I felt like the man. Like I was doing everything right. I felt like I was Warren Buffett. Like I thought I was gonna be the next big thing, but that early win ended up being probably the worst thing that could have happened to me. Because when you win early, you don't think you're lucky, right? You think you're a genius. Like I said, I thought I cracked the code. I thought I was outsmarting the market, everyone else. I thought I was going to retire at 25. I was actually telling people that. Like, what the hell was I thinking? And then the markets crashed, right? And I lost everything. But what did I do? I doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down, and I kept buying. These coins they were going down like 20, 50, 70, 80% rug pulls. And just like that, my 20K was gone. And you know what I was doing? I was dollar cost averaging into the most AI slop coin you could probably think of, thinking I was going to make it all back. And I just spent the next few years in pure delusion, thinking, yeah, I turned my money into a lot of money. I can do it again, right? So I spent years chasing pumps, watching charts, refreshing Twitter like it was my day job. I wasn't investing, I was gambling with a vocabulary upgrade. And the worst part is I wasted so much time. Now, with the knowledge I know now, I could have made so much more money, but I was trying to make my way out. For me, it wasn't just buying crypto, it was my way out of what is like the lifelong rat race, just working 9 to 5. I wasn't doing all that. That's why I was buying I don't even want to say the name of these cryptos because it's just so bad. They probably don't even exist anymore in coin market cap or nothing like that. And then everything for me switched when I started my career in financial services because I was in college during this time. I didn't care about nothing. And then suddenly I was surrounded by people who actually understood money. I was reading white papers. I was learning about investing, index funds, S&P 500, NASDAQ 100. And, investing in crypto, I kind of had a basic idea what the stock market was and stocks, but I was always like, no, that stuff's for old people. Crypto's the new thing. I ain't touching that. I'm trying to be rich now, not when I'm 70 years old with a 401k. Like, bro, what? And then I learned what index funds were and what they actually are, but I didn't switch immediately. I first got my toes wet, I got into stocks, and the first thing I did was I discovered dividend investing, right? So I thought I would start just buying dividend stocks, covered call ETFs, thinking, oh, I'm going to build cash flow so I can retire early. And I was, I was dollar cost averaging like probably a year ago, 2 years ago, into covered call ETFs and just individual stocks, thinking I found the way out, like that I found a glitch in the market. But no, I was just chasing yields, performance chasing, pretending I was Warren Buffett again with like my 500 bucks. And then I realized I'm not beating the market. I'm not even matching the market. I was just making my life more complicated, right? And then recently, at age 22, I started to realize maybe I should be buying an S&P 500 index fund, And I started out doing that, And watching my portfolio and checking it every once in a while, it's like, why is the S&P 500 index fund doing so much better than everything else I was buying? I was buying things like SCHD that people on Reddit are always talking about. I was basically just building a Reddit portfolio, just complete dog water, like the worst portfolio imagine. Like if you saw a ticker on Reddit, it was in my portfolio. And after that, I finally realized and learned, and I discovered John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, and listened to a lot of videos about him, read a lot of articles talking about his investing strategy, low cost index funds, total US market, total international market. And that's when things really clicked for me, right? And the bogglehead strategy, or just for the average investor, right? Most people are an average investor. If you're just at home playing on your phone, buying whatever people on Reddit tell you to buy because it's good, then you're just an average investor, right? Like I don't have no access to a Bloomberg terminal or these hedge fund investors, right? Like crazy. So about a few years ago, I decided to sell everything. I sold everything, all the covered call ETFs I was dollar cost averaging into, sold my NASDAQ 100 index because I was just performance chasing large cap tech that's been dominating the last like decade. But because no one knows what's going to happen in the future, right? Like NASDAQ could fall off the cliff and never hit highs again, which I doubted, of course. I'm just saying, no one truly knows what's going to happen. You're just gambling, right? So I finally made the switch, put all my money in the low cost index funds with Fidelity, excuse me. And the funds I went with was FSKAX, Fidelity's total US market fund, and the expense ratio is ridiculously cheap, 0.015. That's basically nothing. And also FTIHX, a total international index fund. So just very simple, matching the market. And over the long term, that's going to be very hard for people to beat, right? So that's all I'm doing. So I have about $10,000 in the total US market index fund, and then about $2,000 in the total international market fund. And I still have a few thousand in crypto, some, a little bit of fun money, a little bit of my portfolio. But now I have the majority of my money in index funds. I've grown as an investor. I know what I'm doing now. I think I finally beat my gambling addiction, switched that gambler mindset to an investor mindset. And if you're young like me, trust me, you don't need to gamble to get ahead. You need time. That's as young people, if you're in your early 20s, our best asset is time. We can invest in the index funds, and generally they always go up, so we just wait, right? So you just need time, consistency, and low cost index funds. Whether you just buy exchange traded funds or mutual funds like me, VOO is a popular one, VTI, VXUS, those are all great. Just buying those instead of dollar cost averaging into Pepe coin emergency fund like Togi. I just saw a recent video and he said he had his emergency fund in Pepe. I hope it's just jokes and for the camera, but that's scary. But if you're on your own investing journey, drop a comment. I'd love to hear your story if you were crazy like me, or maybe you still are gambling in crypto. If you are, drop some tickers. I'd like to look into and see what kind of vaporware you guys are buying. But if you made it to the end of the video, made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.